Very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, Ji. Online students, try to sit with the webcam on if you can. So don't worry, I'll take all your queries and doubts, whatever you will have in your mind. So first I'll speak for half an hour, then I'll take your questions because it's more important for you to ask whatever doubts you have. Be very clear with whatever optional you choose because optional is very important. You all know from your preparation point of view, है ना? So बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत rationally think many times before you finally decide which optional you want to choose. So those who are in the class, you are from PSIR background? Graduation PSIR? No. And you are from PSIR, few are from PSIR, right? So those who are coming from PSIR background, my suggestion, stick with PSIR. Wherever you study, that's a different thing, but stick with PSIR, okay? You have studied, you have a background, even if you have not done your graduation that properly, but still at least you are aware of the syllabus. And those who are coming from other background, they can have a genuine doubt with few other subjects too, that which optional to go for, right? Have you seen the syllabus of PSIR? All of you?
Yes,
So
sir.
means you are coming to the orientation class with what expectation that you want to know what exactly this subject will have, what is the syllabus of the subject, or you have some other questions in your mind and other queries you have. How I'll go about the preparation, how you will go about the preparation. Ajay, you will go according to me. You have to study for 10 hours. Are you ready for that? Done. Okay, na? So first thing, be ready to work hard. Okay. How I'll go with that will start your PSIR and everywhere PSIR. Those who are coming from PSIR background, can you tell me where the roots of this subject lies? Where the roots of this subject, how this subject evolved, from where it evolved? कोई तो बोलो. How it evolved, from where it evolved? From how it evolved, from where this subject evolved? Philosophy. Very good. So this subject evolved from philosophy. So there's a subject called philosophy and there's a subject called political science, but the roots of the subject lies in philosophy. And that's why from where we'll start is Western political philosophers. So there are Indian philosophers and there are Western philosophers. So we'll start from Western philosophers. Okay. Who is known as the father of philosophy? Socrates. And Plato is known as father of political philosophy. What is philosophy? How you will define what is philosophy? Philosophy comes from two words, philos plus sophia. Sophia means knowledge and philos means love. Those who have love for knowledge. So love for knowledge is philosophy. You want to prepare for UPSC? All of you? Out of love for knowledge? You have love for knowledge. That's why you're sitting here. If you would have love for knowledge, you would have been pursuing your PhD. Okay? Are you coming here to become philosopher? So try not to. So first thing you need to remember is you are not here to become philosopher. You are here to become, you are aspiring to become what? Philosopher or what? Administrator, officer. You want to qualify UPSC. You do not have love for subject. Do you have love for geography? You have love for history, love for economy, huh? Ancient history. You have love for these subjects. No, you are ready to study these subjects because all these things been asked by whom? UPSC. If tomorrow UPSC will change the syllabus and start asking something else, you will study those things. You do not have love for any subject and do not love any subject. मुन्ना भाई MBBS देखिए ना, कहते हैं doctors should not love their patient. Similarly, you should not love subject. Do not get carried away, because if you'll get carried away means you will have love for the subject. You will do only what? Study subject, and the studying a subject too much will make you what? Teacher or philosopher. ठीक है ना? तो philosopher नहीं बनना है, teacher नहीं बनना है. You have to study a subject from the perspective of UPSC. How much UPSC asks? What UPSC asks? So you need to know that much of geography which is relevant for UPSC. Studying political science from university point of view. If you will do your masters, if you will do your PhD, same political science, the nature of political science will change. And studying political science from UPSC point of view is different. And that is why you need guidance, not coaching. If you have someone to guide at your home, you do not need coaching, but you need guidance from UPSC point of view, that if you have someone in life who has given UPSC. So the way UPSC will ask you question, the way UPSC will compile you question, for that you need guidance. So sometimes just even if you have done your masters in political science will not make you eligible to write your UPSC mains, because UPSC requires a different kind of knowledge, a kind of practical knowledge. How they will going to compile the questions. So you need the proper understanding, and you need to develop the capability to compile the answers in 250 to 300 words, and that requires a lot of practice. But that's the second step of your preparation. First step of your preparation is you need to have proper understanding of syllabus. Okay, without proper understanding, nothing will work. But let's say even if you have complete understanding of every topic, आपको सब बातें समझ आती हैं, प्लेटो ने क्या कहा, एरिस्टोटल ने क्या कहा, you understand everything, does not mean having complete understanding is not a guarantee to fetch good marks. Understanding is the first part. With understanding, you need the good content, and third is the compilation part. That is your mains. That is the art to compile your answers in 300 words, and that requires a lot of practice. But that's the third step. You can't jump to this step without the completion of the first step. Okay? So you are not here to become philosophers. You are here to become civil servant. So what is your aspiration? You are aspiring to become officers. You are aspiring to become administrator. Why you want to join civil services? क्यों करना है ज्वाइन? क्यों इतना कष्ट झेलना चाहते हो? मेंटल प्रेशर, फिजिकल ट्रॉमास, डिप्रेशन, स्ट्रेस, financial pressure, so much stress is bound to come if you will prepare for UPSC, and you are all here not by force, by choice. You all are sitting here. किसी ने धक्का देके तो नहीं भेजा ना? You are here by choice. Why you want to work this hard? What is the reason you want to prepare for civil services? It will be worth preparing all this, learning all these subjects. So let's say if you will work for, if you study for 3 years and not able to make into the final list, still you will feel it was worth? I'm just asking, let's say if not, you still feel it will be worth? Very good. I wish for the same, but if not, you think it will be worth? Yes, it will be worth if you are here if you will feel that you have acquired a lot of knowledge, and studying PSIR will give you a lot of knowledge. You will feel that now you are aware. You will start understanding and confronting the world in a different way. You will be able to participate in debates and discussions, and you will see your understanding of your society and the world will change. This is one of the biggest advantage of studying PSIR. You will not feel it all worth if you are only aspiring for what? Power. Because let's say you work very hard for a few years and not able to qualify, you will not going to get what? Power. So if you are only aspiring for power, you will feel frustrated. If you are aspiring that even if I'll not get the power, I'll end up having a lot of knowledge. Okay, na? So first need to keep this thing in your mind, aspire for knowledge, probably power will come. Because only aspiring for power can bring a lot of frustration if you will not able to make into the final list. So which kind of students go into depression in the end and probably commit suicide also? Those who are only aspiring for power. ठीक है ना, तो खाली पावर के लिए एस्पायर मत करो, दो दिस इज वन ऑफ द सेंट्रल कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ योर सब्जेक्ट ऑफ PSIR. The subject of PSIR revolves around two concepts. One is state. Political science begins and ends with state. And the second concept is power. For paper one, the whole paper one revolves around the concept of state. The whole paper two revolves around the concept of power. So let's say if I'll ask you, is it good to aspire for power or is it bad to aspire for power? Good. You have to attended GS. It's good to aspire for power. So if you are aspiring for power, is it wrong if you are aspiring for power? No. How you will justify? हाँ, fine. But what you will do with power? क्या करेगा पावर आ गई तो? अपना भला करेगा. पावर मेक्स करप्ट. क्या करेगा पावर के साथ? कह सकता है ये बोर्ड में? मैं सर अपना भला करने के लिए पावर में आना चाह रहा हूँ. First thing. So more you will be mature, more you will understand this subject, more you will understand the relevance of Gandhi. And Gandhi comes under Indian philosopher. So we have Western philosophers, we have Indian philosophers. So we will write our answers bringing the views of these philosophers. So you need to have a proper understanding of these philosophers. ठीक है? गांधी ने क्या कहा था? गोल इंपॉर्टेंट है, means important, then goal. So aspiration is, let's say, even if it is power, first thing, which means you are aspiring for? You want to use violence to acquire for power, or you want to use legitimate means to acquire power? You are aspiring for power through legitimate means. In India, who is aspiring for power through violent means? Naxals. That's why we consider them as threat to the society. So bullet should not be the way to acquire power. Ballot is the way to acquire power. First thing. Rahul Gandhi wants to become prime minister. So if he can aspire to become prime minister, why you can't aspire to become district magistrate or CM? No one is stopping you to aspire for power. India wants to become superpower. Is it bad India aspiring to become superpower? No. US wants to keep its superpower status intact. Yes. Who is challenging superpower status of US? China. So power is the central concept and everyone aspires for power. So this is the central concept. There's a scholar called Nietzsche. He said aspiration for power is more than the aspiration for life among the human beings. So you need to know the views of so many scholars. Okay. There's a difference between a philosopher and a scholar. Whom you will consider as philosopher? किसको philosopher मानोगे? Why we consider Plato as philosopher? Why I'm asking you? Because you have a background. I can't ask an engineer, at least for the time being, this question. Why we consider Plato as philosopher? Plato को love था knowledge से. अच्छा, what is the most important concept of Plato? Philosopher king. Do you think he also wanted to become philosopher king? Very good. Background है PSR में. So अगर Karl Popper ये कहता है Plato himself aspiring to become philosopher. So what all Plato said? With the objective to acquire power. If someone is giving you idea with the objective to acquire power, that person is not philosopher. That is ideologue. वो Hitler हो जाता है. Giving detached idea. If you are giving idea without having any aspiration for power, what you are? Philosopher. You are telling society should be like this. So Plato gave the idea of ideal state. How we can create an ideal state? Do you think India is an ideal state? If you will become the Prime Minister of India, will you be able to make India an ideal state? And if you say, I can't, so you are not allowed to criticize Modi. So if, let's say, you become the Prime Minister with brute majority, 400 par, will you be able to make India an ideal state? बना दोगे इंडिया को आइडियल स्टेट? पता ही नहीं है. अभी आपको पता ही नहीं बेटा आइडियल स्टेट होती क्या है, तो बनाओगे कैसे? तो यही सब समझना है. So Plato gave the idea of ideal state. So because he has given the idea of ideal state, he has given the idea of justice. That's why we consider him as philosopher. So Plato, Aristotle, Machiavelli, Marx, ये सब philosophers हैं. Though there are critics to them also who consider them as ideologue, that their idea was politically motivated. So if someone is giving you idea which is politically motivated, that becomes ideology. This is difference between philosophy and ideology. समझे? ये है difference. Philosophy और ideology. Only idea is philosophy. Politically motivated idea is ideology. ठीक है? So in your subject of PSIR, there are 3 subparts. There are theories, there is comparative politics, which is the part of your paper 2, and third is international relation. So these are the 3 subparts of your subject: theories, comparative politics, and international relation. Who has given theories? Philosophers. Okay. What is theory? Explanation of idea is theory. So if someone will explain you the idea of justice, this becomes what? Theory of justice. ठीक? So there are different concepts. You need to understand these concepts, and these concepts are subjective, not objective. Subjective means which changes in time and space. Objective, which will remain same. So what is justice? What is equality? What is state? Theories of state. So different people will explain state differently. How you see state? आपको state कैसी दिखती है? How you see state? You believe in state? You believe in state? Why you believe in state? What state is giving to you? Law and order, security. So you see state as an instrument which gives security. How you see state? State protects your liberty, or state curtails your liberty and freedom? Both. If you are a follower of Marxist ideology, how you will see state? That state is an instrument of exploitation, and in state, power is in the hands of property bourgeois class. So different people are seeing state differently or not? So that is why in the subject of PSIR, things are subjective, not objective. Every concept is open for multiple interpretations. So you need to understand all these interpretations first. And then once you understand all these things, once you start seeing these things from the top, then you will be in a position to frame your answers. So do not rush into answer writing. First, build a proper understanding. Each and every word which is written in your syllabus, you need to have a proper understanding of that, and then you need to go for multiple revisions so that you can consolidate these concepts, and then comes the answer writing part. Okay? So if you have interest in these kind of topics, that what is state, what is difference between nation and state, what exactly is the meaning of equality, what is the meaning of justice, what is the meaning of liberty, how liberty is different from freedom. Okay, if you have interest in these kind of things, then PSIR can be your choice. The optional in which you can score well. So this comprises a subject matter of paper 1. Paper 2 is all about international relation, international dynamics, India's engagement with its immediate neighborhood, India-Pakistan ties, India-Sri Lanka relationship, India's West Asia engagement, Israel-Palestine issue, genesis of these issues, our objectives of Look West policy, what is the way forward in Indo-China ties, international institutions and organization, ICJ is in the news, ICC is in the news. Okay, where lies the difference? What is India's role in that? UN, India's permanent membership for UN. Are you aware of these concepts, these issues? Are you aware that there are 5 permanent members in UN? Who are these 5? आपको तो पता है ना, GS कर चुके हो, ठीक है. You know the 5. India is aspiring to become a permanent member, right? You answer this. Do you think India deserves the permanent membership? I know that. I just asked in objective term, do you think India deserves the permanent membership? Yes or no? Yes. You are nationalist. You are Indian. Pakistan deserves the permanent membership? No, because you are Indian. If you ask this question to a Pakistani, then what Pakistani will say? If you ask this question to a Pakistani, what that person will say? And what will that person will say for India? No. नेवर, द वे यू आर सेइंग पाकिस्तान, नो नेवर, ठीक है, पता चल गया मुझे, नेशनलिस्ट बैठे हैं, ठीक है. So now I'll rephrase my question. As I asked, do you think India deserves the permanent membership? You said yes. Most of you said yes. Now I'm rephrasing my question. Do you think India is the most deserving member for the permanent membership? No. Do you think India is the most deserving country for the permanent membership? No. Very good. Let's say you reach to the interview stage and board will ask you, do you think you are the most deserving candidate for UPSC to become an IAS? You will say no. Someone who is sitting outside deserves more. समझ रहे हो? अभी आपको कुछ नहीं पता. Yes, India is the most deserving one. When you can be the most deserving one to become an IAS, why India can't be the most deserving one? At least this is the stand of India, that India is the most deserving one. So your stand needs to be the official stand of the government of India. Why you said no? Because you do not know the official stand yet. Okay, so issues like this are important for a student who is aspiring for UPSC, and a PSIR optional will help you a lot and immensely in GS. Objectively, I am telling you, and it will help you a lot in GS paper 4, because roots of ethics lies in philosophy, and we are going to have a detailed discussion on philosophers, and it will help you a lot in essay writing too. Okay? Now, I'm sure all of you are aware that in Afghanistan, we have seen regime change. There's a government who has new government has able to acquire power. What is the name of the government who has acquired? Taliban. Pata hai? Taliban. There's something called good Taliban and bad Taliban. Any idea? No. Any idea there's a good Taliban and bad Taliban? Nahi pata. Achha, there's a group called Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda. Are you aware of these historical facts that act of 9/11 was done by Taliban? Al-Qaeda. Twin towers in US destroyed by Al-Qaeda. After that, US started a war against Taliban. Why? It was done by Al-Qaeda. Is Al-Qaeda's objective and Taliban's objective both have same objectives for which they are fighting for? No idea. So issues like this, okay, are relevant for UPSC aspirants, and anyhow, you need to know about these things from GS point of view also. So this is the nature of your syllabus. Okay, so these all things we are going to discuss in detail in PSIR. State, justice, power. Now, if any one of you is done with GS syllabus yet? And anyone who remembers the first line of our preamble? We the people, firstly, second, third line. We are aspiring for what? We as a state aspiring for what? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. Okay. Other than this, and we are aspiring to have we need to ensure what? Liberty, equality, justice. In which order it is written? Liberty, equality, justice. So justice written. So our aspiration is to create what? Just the state. Are we able to create just state? We are on the way. You become the prime minister in future. Again, 400 par wali majority ke saath. Will you able to create a just state? So your notion is, your understanding is, because we are too populated. That's why this is the biggest hindrance towards creating a just state. अच्छा चल मैं और easy question पूछता हूँ. Do you think we are overpopulated? Very good. We are overpopulated? Yes, 100%, sir. कोई भी ट्रेन देख लो जो बिहार जा रही है, पता चल जाएगा. How you come to this conclusion we are overpopulated? What is the criteria on which you said we are overpopulated? How you know we have scarcity of resources? कैसे? कौन से डेटा की बात कर रहा है? Huge rate of unemployment. Might be we are not able to generate employment. You are saying if your view is coming out of seeing the trains which are going to Bihar, might be we are not running more trains. How you come to this conclusion we are overpopulated, considering the population density of ours? What is the average population density of India? 389. Very good. What is the average population density of Singapore? More than 2000. More than 2000. Population density of Japan, more than 2000. So what is the criteria on which we are saying we are overpopulated? It is subjective. Many believe we are underpopulated. There are geographers who believe we are underpopulated. We have not utilized our resources optimally. If we go for rainwater harvesting, if we're able to interlink the river, if we start using our resources properly, if we'll tap the potential of tidal energy, sunlight, we are a tropical country, this population will seem optimal. So this basically, so that's what. So you said the biggest hindrance for creating a just state is population. This is your notion, not reality. Okay, what Plato said, why Athens is not an ideal state? Because Plato's main objective is, Plato's main idea is justice. He has given a theory of justice. So what Plato said, how we can have a just state? What Plato said, how we can have a just state? What philosopher king gonna do? That it will create a just state. We have found our own philosopher king, Narendra Modi. Education. Okay. He said how we can have an ideal state by bringing those in power who are not corrupt. And what present Prime Minister keeps saying, what is the biggest hindrance which is preventing India to become a just state? Corruption. So what you could have said, how we can have a just state? By ending corruption. So the idea of Plato still holds valid or not? What is the biggest threat for India? Corruption. That's how we link their ideas in the present context. And this is what is relevant for all of you as an aspirant to understand and apply their ideas in the present context. Questions aise aayenge, is Marx relevant in the present context? Is Gandhi relevant in the present context? So you will say Gandhi was relevant, Gandhi is relevant, and Gandhi will remain relevant. ठीक है ना, सबको क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे सिवाय एक, किनको? गांधी, फादर ऑफ द, अपने फादर को क्रिटिसाइज नहीं करते ना. So you will see everyone is open for criticism, and Gandhi is open for criticism. Gandhi is being criticized by whom? Ambedkarites. Gandhi is being criticized by whom? Marxists. That Gandhi was the philosopher of bourgeois capitalist class. ठीक है ना? So all these ideas you need to have on your tips before you will reach to the stage of framing your आंसर राइटिंग. तो आंसर राइटिंग के लिए नहीं फंसना, पहले समझनी है बातें. कन्फ्रंट द रियलिटी फर्स्ट. यू डू नॉट नो द रियलिटी, यू डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हु इज टेररिस्ट. इफ आई आस्क हु इज टेररिस्ट, कैन यू टेल मी हु इज टेररिस्ट? यू डिसाइड्स टू हाईजैक अ प्लेन. ठीक है, कल हाईजैक कर लिया एक प्लेन आपने. सो इफ यू विल हाईजैक अ प्लेन, दिस विल मेक यू टेररिस्ट. Hijacking a plane is an act of terrorism? It is. Very good. You decide to go for bank robbery. Huh? One of the SBI branch in Delhi cannot place. You decided to rob it. It's an act of terrorism? नहीं. Bank robbery terrorism नहीं है. Hijacking terrorism है. Very good. How you come to this conclusion that if you will hijack a plane, it's a terrorism, and if you will go, acha, you decide to kidnap her, it's an act of terrorism?
Sir, if it harms humans, then it is.
Gee.
If it's violent and it causes harm to the human beings.
Human beings. Okay. Acha, okay, violence against citizens. You going to the office. In future, let's say you are going to the office and too much of heat in Delhi, summers, and you have a minor accident on road and someone is driving rash. Out of fist and anger, you decide to hit the person. Person died. It's an act of terrorism? अच्छा, हाँ, अब आई ना सही, अब दिमाग की बत्ती जली ना. तो फिर अगर हाईजैकिंग किया था तो वो टेररिज्म कैसे हो गया? हाँ, so if you would have done for financial gains, that is a crime. If you would have done to hurt the sovereignty and integrity of the state, that is terrorism. फिर
Sir, it's a threat to the peace of
act
the
will not
country.
decide, motive will decide. तो फिर कैसे conclude किया कि अगर hijack कर लिया तो मैं terrorist हूँ और bank robbery करी तो मैं criminal हूँ? So if you are using, if you will kidnap her and demand ransom, this is crime. If you will kidnap Ajit Doval, that becomes what? Terrorism. So kidnapping is not crime or terror. Motive will decide it is crime or terror. So why I'm telling you all these things? So that you can understand. The first important thing is to have a proper understanding, and these kind of understandings you will build in the subject of PSIR. ठीक है ना? So as I said, so now the endeavor is to create just state. Out of justice, liberty, equality, what is most important, as you can clearly see in the preamble itself, first importance is given to what? Your liberty, your equality, or the endeavor is to create just state. Just state. You can feel that reservation is against the principle of equality. But through reservations, our aspiration is to create what? A just state. If you will end reservation, you will create a meritorious society. We are compromising on merit because the aspiration is to create just state. Because injustice can lead to revolution. Who said this? Aristotle. Samjhe? So everywhere you will see, behind every revolution, the root cause of every revolution is injustice. And who said this thing way back? Aristotle. And that is why our endeavor is to create a just state. Then comes Amartya Sen. Amartya Sen said it is not possible to ensure justice. You can't. So जब मैं आपसे बार-बार पूछ रहा हूँ, will you able to ensure justice? It is not possible. According to whom? Amartya Sen. And how, what you will consider Amartya Sen, a philosopher or a scholar? Scholar. So we will write, we will say things in terms of whom? Scholars. We'll write on Indo-Pak dynamics in terms of whom? Scholar. According to C. Raja Mohan, according to Pratap Bhanu Mehta, okay, according to Sham Saran, according to one or the other. So we will write our answers in terms of whom? Scholars. Will not bring our own personal views while writing on institutions like UN, IMF, Indo-Pak dynamics, India, Nepal. So we will frame our answers in the words of whom? Scholars. Okay? I guess those who have attended the last orientation also, I told you this. So they should not give the answer for the time being. Let's say there are 3 students. This is the example given by Amartya Sen. A, B, C. And there is one flute or one toy. Now A is claiming this flute as according to A, I made this flute. I climbed the tree. I cut the wood. I did all the hard work to make this flute. So I deserve this. B claims, I deserve this because I do not have any other thing to play with. A has a lot of other toys. According to B, I do not have any other toy. So this should be given to me. So state should take this flute from A and give it to me. C is saying, if they both will play, you have to put fingers on your ears. They do not know how to play it. I can produce music out of this. So this should be given to me. And you have to do justice. In future also, what as an administrator, what will be your job? Distribution. And you need to distribute goods. Vaccine needs to be distributed. Power will be in your hand. How you're going to distribute and what people will expect from you? Justice. कैसे करोगे जब justice का idea ही नहीं पता आपको तो? समझ रहे हो? इसीलिए justice का idea इतना important है. Out of 3, whom you will give so that you should feel that you have done justice. सी को दे देगी. ए से छीन के. फिर ए दोबारा कभी करेगा ऐसा काम? Scarcity हो जाएगी. Anyway. हाँ, उसके बाद और नहीं है, बट ए कभी दोबारा हार्डवर्क करेगा. मान लो आप बहुत हार्डवर्क करते हो और आपकी सैलरी है 30 लाख annual income. Another person does not want to do anything. Person just get up in the morning and does not want to work, does not want to go to work, drink a lot of alcohol, and then claim subsidies from the government. Government is taking you are doing a lot of hard work. Government is taking 15 lakh out of your salary and giving it to that person. Will you work? Do you think you will work hard after that? You will be disappointed and you will stop working hard. And let's say government is saying those who are making 10 lakh, no money will be taken from them. But those who are earning 30 lakh, 15 lakh will be taken from them and will be distributed in poor. What do you think? What is better to, how much better? You will feel, I should earn how much? Should I work very hard to make 30 lakh? Listen, why to work this hard when after making 30 lakh, I'll end up making only 15 lakh. फिर करोगे हार्ड वर्क? नहीं करोगे, ग्रोथ रुक जाएगी ना. तो अगर आप ए से ले लोगे, what A will feel? My all hard work has gone waste or not? It is exploitation. किसको दोगे? This is not an option to pay to A. As I given you the example of deducting taxes. हाँ तो कोई बात नहीं. आप 30 लाख कमा रहे हो, 15 लाख तो बचेंगे, तो 15 लाख ले लिया तो क्या हो गया? तो क्या हो गया ले लिया तो? 15 लाख तो फिर भी हैं आपके पास। आप उस सेंस में समझो ना, अभी जस्टिस का डिबेट वहां होगा, व्हाट शुड बी द रेट ऑफ टैक्सेस इन द इकोनॉमी। ठीक है, you give it to B, you give it to C. Whosoever you will give, other two will feel injustice. So what it means, it is not possible to have justice. So when it is not possible to have justice, how will I have justice? And injustice is the biggest threat. ठीक है, you give it to A, both will feel injustice. Now Marxist will say who to give? B. इसलिए भी आप लेफ्टिस्ट हो सब लोग। कॉलेज में हम कैसे होते हैं? लेफ्टिस्ट होते हैं। इसलिए भी आपको लग रहा है बी को देना बिल्कुल ठीक है। जब अर्न करने लगोगे ना 50 लाख और 25 लाख गवर्नमेंट खींच लेगी, तो आप क्या हो जाओगे? आई शुड हैव कंप्लीट फ्रीडम टू मेक मनी एंड आई शुड नॉट पे एनीथिंग टू द गवर्नमेंट बैक। इट शुड बी, I should bring my rationality to give how much I want to give. And that is why we have invasion of taxes. Liberals will say what? Whom should be given? A. मेरी मेहनत, मेरा हार्ड वर्क ए को मिलना चाहिए. So for liberal, what is justice? A should keep it. For Marxist, what is justice? B should. So if you're leftist and become the prime minister, what you will go for? Distribution of goods. जो राहुल गांधी कह रहा था, अभी हम सब में बांट देंगे. फिर सब में बांट दोगे तो फिर मेहनत कौन करेगा? समझे? Liberal will say Trump, no taxes. Whosoever earning is their hard work, they should keep it. And there is something called utilitarians who will say the one who will derive maximum pleasure out of it. समझे? तो ये सारी बातें हम किस में करेंगे? थ्योरीज में. Okay? So just out of justice, liberty, equality, which is the most important idea? Justice. But there is a debate going on since Plato. And this debate is not yet over. So Plato has its own idea of justice. Aristotle had its own idea of justice. Rawls has its own idea of justice. Amartya Sen has its own idea of justice. Now studying idea in different time and ये different time and space है. वो BCs था, ये ADs हैं. So studying an idea in time and space becomes thought. इसे political thought कहते हैं. So आपके सब्जेक्ट में क्या है? Theories, thoughts, ideologies. सुन रही बात? So that's why isms becomes what? Ideologies. Liberalism. So this ideology stands for what? Liberties. People's liberties should not be curtailed. Marxism or Marxist socialism. They stand for what? Equality. Liberalism stands for what? Liberty. Then comes what? Feminism. Feminists stand for what? Gender equality or more rights for whom? Women. Then comes whom? Fascism. ये इनको खुद नहीं पता for what they stand for. ठीक है, अभी करेंगे. Gandhism. So ism becomes what? Ideologies. Marx was a philosopher. Now those who want to use Marxist idea to acquire power, they turned Marx into ideology, Marxism. Gandhi was a philosopher, but using Gandhian idea to acquire power becomes what? Ideology. So who turned Gandhian ideas? Who turned Gandhian ideas into ideology? Leaders of Congress. And that's why Gandhi wanted that Congress should be dissolved after independence. क्योंकि गांधी को पता था मेरे आइडियाज मैनिपुलेट करके क्या करने वाले हैं? पावर एक्वायर करने. So those who are using Gandhian ideas to acquire power, they have turned Gandhi into Gandhian idea into ideology. This also I've given the example in the last class. If you have to conduct a race in a class and you want to conduct a just race, what liberals will stand for? Everyone should be allowed to participate in the race, and race should start from point A and end at point B. Whosoever will reach point B, whosoever will first reach at point B will be declared as the winner of the race. This is a just race. PSIR background है ना? This is a just race. नहीं है just race. क्यों नहीं है? Why this is not a just race? Why it is not a just race? Bolo. Why it is not a just, in whichever language you want to say. Why it is not a just race? Why it is not a just race? तो क्या हो गया? तो किसको दूसरों किसने रोका है? बन जाए वो भी स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन. दिस इज अ जस्ट रेस. हाँ जी, क्यों अनइक्वल है? हाँ, तो उनकी कुछ हो सकते हैं जिनके पेरेंट्स बहुत रिच हैं, उनकी डाइट्स अच्छी हैं, देयर पेरेंट्स कैन अफोर्ड गुड कोचेस फॉर देम. इज इट अ जस्ट रेस? नो. What will be just race? When everyone has equal diet, when everyone will get equal kind of training, that's why it becomes a just race. Is UPSC exam which we are conducting is a just exam? No. Why not? Because poors can't afford it. That's why UPSC is still seen as exam of elites, given by elites, and power remain in the hands of elites. You all are in general coming from which section of the society? Elite section, and you think you will work for the poor. ठीक है, सब झूठ है, अभी आपको बाद में पता चलेगा. No, all conflicts in the world are not between right and wrong. All conflicts in the world are between two rights. Whose right is more right depends on whose side you are. And here comes Gandhi. If you will use violence to prove your right, will end up making world blind. And that's why you need to justify your point of view through debate, not through violence. Rationally justify your right, not through violence. Who wants to use violence to justify their right? Religious fundamentalist. Taliban, Al-Qaeda. They say this is the purest form of Islam. They have their own interpretation of holy text, Quran. They say this is the purest form of Islam. Doing thing is, if you are not doing this, you are not following religion properly. If you will question them, how you can say this is the purest form of Islam, they will shoot you. End of discussion. So if you think this is the purest form, if you can justify this through rational debates and rational argument, then we are ready to accept this. But are they ready to listen to our point of view? No. This turned them what? Religious fundamentalist. So Marxist socialists will say this is not a just race. Just race is only possible if equal kind of diets and training will be ensured for all. If we are able to do this, then only we are conducting a just race. What feminists will say for? What they will stand for? You cannot equate biologically men and women. Women should be allowed to run 30 meters ahead than men. If you are doing this, then only you are conducting a just race. लड़कों को पसंद नहीं आ रही ये बात, वो शोर मचा रहे हैं, उनका इनर कोर इनइक्वालिटी अगेंस्ट अस. ठीक है. What fascist will stand for? Fascist will tell you X is the winner. If you will question when the race happened, they will shoot you. ठीक है. Accept X as the winner of the race. This is fascism. You want to live in such a state where there is fascism? No. ठीक है ना. And Gandhian believes is there is no need to have a race. Hold each other's hand and reach to the end. Let's hold each other's hand and complete the race. There is no need for competition and race in the world. Let's take care of each other's interests. If someone is weaker, it's your responsibility to hold the hand of that person. There is no need for any kind of competition. Society is organic whole. This is Gandhi and Gandhism. Okay? So you need to have a proper understanding of these concepts, and all these things are the part of your syllabus. समझ में आई बात? So if you have interest to know and learn these kind of things, which will make you a person who holds knowledge, and if you think that you have an inclination to learn these concepts, you need to make yourself more aware about the international and the world dynamics. You need to understand these topics and have a proper understanding of these concepts, then PSIR is a right optional for all of you. And yes, Objectively, this is the optional which will help you the most in your GS, because 3/4 of your GS syllabus is having linkages with your PSI. अब आप लोग बोलो if you have any question. तुम दोनों का तो श्योर है, हाँ? 6 months. 6 months, around 160 classes. How long it will take, how much is the syllabus, is the nature of syllabus is dynamic, these should not be your concern, because right now you do not understand the meaning of this word itself. Dynamic आपने इधर उधर से सुन लिया है, अच्छा ये dynamic है, ये static है, इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. Dynamic का मतलब क्या है? Which requires updates. A bit of update, not the whole syllabus will change. Justice का concept नहीं change होने वाला. Theories will not change. Only new dynamics regarding world affairs can emerge. Dynamic in the sense ICJ is in the news. The understanding about ICJ will not change. Okay, it's just ICJ is in the news, ICC is in the news, and you need to know about these institutions and organizations. And there can be a question in mains, at least in pre this year, for sure there will be a question on ICC and ICJ. This is what dynamic means. Israel-Hamas war. Anyhow, you need to know about the genesis of the issue of Palestine. In fact, you will be in a position to better understand what it means when we are saying three more European countries are ready to recognize the statehood for Palestine. आपको और बातें समझ आने लगेंगी. So dynamic is not a challenge. Dynamic is an opportunity to score more. And I can assure you, all of you will score more in paper 2 than paper 1. I can assure you that. In general, students score more in paper 1 over paper 2. But I can assure you, you all will score more in paper 2 than paper 1, and you will be more comfortable whenever you will go for your PSIR mains in paper 2 than paper 1, because you will feel paper 1 requires a lot of cramming, and the kind of teaching, the way I'm going to teach you, you will have everything on your tips, and you will feel there is no need to cram anything in paper 2, because everything will be in your mind, and through your understanding itself, you will be able to frame your answers. This I can assure you. Okay? How? First, I'll explain you the topic, then I'll dictate, I'll make you write. Only those topics which are too static. For those only, I'm going to give you the handout. Otherwise, I'm going to discuss and make you write in the class. After writing, you will revise it. And then I'll ask you to, if you have any doubt you are left with, you can ask your doubts in the class. And monthly, you will get a perspective magazine also, which will cover all the current affairs from PSR point of view. Okay? You do not need to have any concern about content. Content का concern भूल जाओ. आपका 2 concern होने चाहिए. क्या मुझे सही से समझ आ रही है बात? और क्या मैं 10 घंटे पढ़ पा रहा हूं या नहीं? बस. You should have only 2 concerns, whether I'm able to understand everything which is being discussed in the class. I should not left with any doubt. Whether I'm able to have a clarity on the ideology of fascism, whether when we are saying Plato is seen as first feminist or Plato is seen as first fascist, whether I'm able to understand what it means when we are saying Plato is seen as first fascist. Plato has also given the idea of communism. Though communism as an idea is associated with Marx, do I have a proper understanding of the difference between communism and socialism? This should be your concern for 6 months. After that, your concern should be whether I'm able to remember the things or not, or after that, whether I'm able to compile our answers properly or not. For this, test series will going to help you immensely. There is no extra charge for your test series. Full-fledged test series of 16 tests will be eligible. You will be eligible to have a full-fledged 16 test series, which will start after the completion of your syllabus. And for June batch, that test series will be open from October itself. Okay, so before pre next year, 8 tests will be commenced before pre, and next day's test will be conducted after pre-exam. Okay? Nothing. I'll recommend only 2 books. You have, and in the class, I'll tell you which chapters to read from these books and when. Other than there is no content you need to refer to, just newspaper reading. Nothing else. Hanji? Of what? 24th June. The date which is given to you is 14 June. but I'll start from 24th of June. Timing, I guess it is 1 to 3. Of what? Taking admission and all. Whenever you have time to do that. Okay. If you are very busy, you have a lot of time. You can complete your formality. See, I guess seats are limited for offline batch. There are only 150. So after that, only option you will be left with online class. So if you want to come for offline, sooner you will do, better it is. If you only thinking for online, then whenever you feel so, you can join. Because for online, I guess there is no limit for online, but for offline, it is only 150 seats. Hanji. Yes, it is possible, but probably they will not allow you to sit in the class. Outside the class, you can come for discussion. That is not an issue. For sure. That is not an issue. ऐसा नहीं है ऑनलाइन लिए तो कभी आ ही नहीं सकता मिलने, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है. हाँ. Recording, I guess 30 days backup. After, if you are not able to watch your lecture in 30 days, then you should not prepare. If you are this busy that you cannot cover your one lecture, if 30 days backup is given to you, it means you are too busy. नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. 30 days में lecture खत्म हो जाएगा, but देख लेना 30 days में. Or in fact, my strong recommendation is if you are coming for online, try to sit in the live class and that too with webcam on. मैं शायद थोड़ा old school हो गया हूँ, मुझे समझ नहीं आता आप online class वो भी recorded देख के कैसे समझोगे. So first, all of those who are in Delhi, your first preference should be to come for the offline class if you can. If not, you are stuck. If you are busy with your job or some other commitment, take online, but at least try to sit in the live class with webcam on and do all the discussions, whatever you have to. Once in a while, if you are not able to attend the live class, then the option of watching the recorded video should be there. So take it like this, not keeping pending your 20 lectures, 25 lectures, कि बाद में देख लूंगी, ऐसे मत करना. Yes, probably Debrishi, you will get the recording of this session, but why you need the recording of this session? Haji, online, any other question, offline student? Nothing. Everything will start from the scratch. In fact, these discussions will help you in GS. Including polity, IGP, Indian government and politics is part of our syllabus. After the completion of IGP, you will feel now you have a better command on your GS polity. You will better understand federalism because we'll discuss federalism from the point of view of scholars, which we do not do in GS. So you will have a much broader understanding of these topics. What do you mean by being secular? From where the concept of secularism emerge. Those test series, they start from October and how long will you go till December? No. Every month you will have 2 tests. December 2 tests, January, February, March. After that, there will be a break and the rest 8 tests will be commenced after pre-exam. Even if you're not able to qualify pre, you can continue with your test series. That 16 test series is free for those who will join the batch. If you let's say there are many who go for self-study or they have done coaching somewhere else and want to take our test series, that is the cost for that test series is around 22K. But for the students who will going to join this batch with me, I have decided that test series should be free for all of you. Okay? वो free रहेगी. So my concern, no one gives you this kind of test series with the batch. My concern is not about, my concern is not that you should pay it. My concern is that after the completion of your syllabus, you should write. Because answer writing is must to qualify UPSC. But that is the last step of your preparation. Try not to jump onto that step. Just after the 1 week of the classes कि सर मैं आंसर लिखना शुरू कर दूं प्लेटो पे. अरे नहीं लिखना प्लेटो पे. क्या लिखोगे अभी? जो मैं नोट्स दे रहा हूँ वही लिख के मेरे पास आ जाओगे. अभी और समझो, भी पहले रॉल्स पढ़ लें, फिर रॉल्स और प्लेटो को में जब क्वेश्चन आएगा फिर लिखेंगे. ठीक है ना? तो थोड़ा सा पेशेंस के साथ जीएस पे फोकस करो और अपना सब्जेक्ट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे फोकस करो। बुक्स पढ़नी है, ठीक है ना? नोट्स को मल्टीपल रिवीजन करना है, आंसर राइटिंग नहीं करनी, एटलीस्ट फॉर फर्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स। आई टेल यू व्हेन टू डू दैट, एंड व्हेन आई विल पुश यू टू डू दैट, then no one will do that. No.
Have they made any students who cleared the exam
नहीं, दो क्वेश्चंस हो गए. Anyone who has qualified UPSC from my batch of PSIR, this one thing, and those who are not from PSIR background, I am telling you, most of those who are clearing their mains are not coming from PSIR background. You do not have to be from PSI. You do not have to be from sociology background to qualify UPSC from sociology optional. You do not have to be from history background to qualify UPSC from history optional. You do not have to be from PSIR background to qualify UPSC. Myself, I am the example. I've given 2 interviews and I do not have a PSIR background as such. Mine is technical background. But it's not rocket science. It is about the understanding of the concepts. So if you have an analytical mind, if you can link the things, if you can have an understanding of these issues, then PSR is the right choice for you. Okay. Any other question? Now let's take the questions of monthly magazine to soft copy, Abhiroop. Perspective. There will be a WhatsApp group. I'll share all the information on that group. The PDF of the monthly magazine will be shared on the group itself. Just raise your hand. It's not possible to read from the chat. Raise your hand, switch on your webcam, and then you can ask. PSIR over law optional, Chaitanya, it should be your, I guess I should not give you answer. I don't know. You are coming. Switch on. Now ask Chaitanya. You are
Yes,
from
sir.
law background? You are from law
Yes, sir,
background or PSIR
Yes, sir.
background?
Sir, I'm from law background.
See, so it's you only know how well you know the concepts of law. I can't tell you this, that how much hard work you have done during your graduation while pursuing law. You yourself is in the best position to decide this. मान लो कोई सिविल इंजीनियर आके कहे मुझे, सर मैं सिविल इंजीनियरिंग लूं या PSIR, and that person has done civil engineering from IIT, let's say, and we believe those who are doing from IIT, they are one of the best mind, and they have done a lot of hard work to complete their BTech or civil engineering from IIT. But still, person is telling me, sir, I'm able to qualify engineering, but I do not know the concepts. And I can qualify UPSC from any subject, but not from civil engineering. Then I'll recommend something else. So it is you who know you are in a best position to decide whether law should be your. What I can tell you is, even if you have a law background will help you to have a good understanding of the concepts in PSIR, because already you are a bit aware of these concepts like justice, liberty, equality, freedom,
Yes, sir.
communism, international law. So you will not going to face any challenge in PSIR. But whether you should go for law or PSIR, I think you should decide this.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
कि आपने कितना पढ़ा है, आपको लॉ कितना अच्छे से आता है, लॉ का सिलेबस में आपको कितने टॉपिक्स में प्रॉब्लम है. PSIR में आपको कहीं प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी फॉर श्योर.
Okay,
I have
sir.
never
Thank you,
seen
sir.
a person who is having law background face any kind of difficulty in PSIR.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
है ना? देखो, graduates, if you are in whichever subject you have done your graduation, let's say someone has done BA in history. Now, doing graduation will make you aware of 2 things. One, that you have a lot of interest in history, you want to stick with history. Or second, there was so much of difficulty. I faced so much of difficulty in qualifying my graduation exams through history. So I'm not going to take history. So it is you who can decide how much interest now you are left with in that particular subject. ठीक है, तो ग्रेजुएशन से हमें यही पता चलता है कि या तो मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्ट है इसमें या मुझे बिल्कुल इंटरेस्ट नहीं। बड़ी मुश्किल से मैंने ग्रेजुएशन पास किया सर, तो मुझे ये सब्जेक्ट तो नहीं लेना है। So that is why I'm saying you are in a best position to decide that which subject you should stick with. I have told you the advantages of PSIR. Priyanshu, if you are coming from technical background, I don't want to be sound biased standing at this platform because this is a decision which can have a serious impact on your career. And I know how passionate we are and we can be for our UPSC. But if you're coming from technical background, one thing is for sure, PSIR is much more analytical. You need, there's less cramming required. It is more analytical. Out of all the subjects of humanities, science word comes in only one subject, that is political science. If you see, out of all the subjects of humanity, you see the word science in only political science. What is the difference between a subject of humanity and science? कैसे differentiate करते हैं? ये humanity का subject है, इसमें BA होगी, इसमें BSc होगी. What separates a subject of humanity from science? Priyanshu, you answer this. Switch on your webcam. अब अगर इसका आंसर चाहिए तो एटलीस्ट इतना तो कर ही सकता है ना, वेबकैम ऑन करके अपना आपको अनम्यूट कर ले। नेटवर्क इशू, मुझे पता ही था। सुनने में इशू नहीं है, बोलने में सारे इशू आ जाते हैं। प्रैक्टिकल रहने दे, मैंने ही बताया तुम्हें। हाउ यू सेपरेट, डिफरेंशिएट अ ह्यूमैनिटी फ्रॉम साइंस। ठीक है, वो तो इसने भी कहा प्रैक्टिकल। ग्रेजुएशन करके आए हो ना सब लोग? किसमें किया ग्रेजुएशन? मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग, बीई, बीटेक, बीटेक, humanities. Why we say economy as humanity, not science? Economy as a subject, we do, universities offer BA or BSc in economics? Both. Very good. Geography, BA geography, BSc geography. There are few universities who offer BSc in geography. BHU देती है. In science we have laws. In humanities we have theories. Laws are universal. Physics, chemistry, bio. Anatomy of heart will remain same. Newton's law will remain same. So in science we have laws. In humanities we have theories. But we do have laws in economics. That's why it is semi-scientific. We do have few. When we claim political science, we do not have laws here. We have only theories. So what is different between theory and law? Law remains same, universal. Theories change in time and space, like theory of justice. So idea of justice is constantly evolving or not? Yes. But how we are trying to come to the idea of justice? By analyzing it. So what we are doing is we are trying to systematically come to the conclusion. So when we are going for systematic interpretation of something, in that sense, we claim this subject is science. Arbitrarily, we are not saying this is justice. We are trying to come to the idea of justice by systematic analysis and interpretation. That's why it is science. So if you're coming from technical background and you have a good analytical capability, you will feel more comfortable in this subject than in those subjects which are of pure humanities. So pure humanities के subjects कौन से होंगे? इसमें you need a bit more cramming than analytical analysis. Okay, Priyanshu. I hope this can help you to decide more rationally. So that is why engineers, technical background students, they feel much more comfortable in the subject of PSIR. Debrashi, these are irrelevant questions. From where current affairs will become relevant? ये सब के answers नहीं हो सकते. It's a systematic understanding of the things. First, you decide whether you want to go for PSIR or not. These things should not be your concern कि सर current affairs कब से पढ़ना है, सब मेरा काम है. वो आपको क्लास में धीरे धीरे अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी. And stop writing in the chat box. Unmute you and you can speak. So if you are fearful, fear is good thing. Fear means you are serious about something. So fear does not mean that you should not go for this. You have fear because no one has explained you properly. So once you have a proper understanding of everything, your fear will vanish. What all I said today, if you can understand, if you can make sense of what all I said today, then I can assure you there is no need of any fear. You will have the complete understanding, and that too on your tips, what all has been said by philosophers. You will be able to relate everything. Okay, it's just I have seen no one teaches philosophers in the current or the present scenario. They try to tell you what all they said. And if you will cram so many things, if some information will not make any sense for you, then you will feel that because whatever you will cram, there's a knack to forget. But if you have properly understood something, you will never going to forget that kind of information, because the way I said, where is the relevance of Plato in the present time? Where's the present of Aristotle? Where's the relevance of Aristotle in the present time? Okay. So if you will relate these things in the contemporary world, what all has been said by them, that is why we are studying them. What is the relevance of them? Okay. So if you will study these philosophers, considering their present relevance, you will never going to face any problem. Where you see the presence of Machiavelli in the present time, what Machiavelli said, hold any relevance in the present time or not, right? Let's say if I'll ask, what one common thing you see in leaders like Modi, Putin? What one common thing you see in leaders like Modi, Putin?
Sir, they are populist leaders.
Anything else? Anything
Humble
else?
background, rise from humble background.
They all are brave. They do not shy away from taking strong decisions. And that's what Machiavelli said. Leader needs to be brave like lion and clever like fox. The relevance of Machiavelli. Okay. That is why UPSC is not for everyone. You will come to know, Aristotle said there are two types of people, masters and slaves. Not everyone can become master. Okay. So the more you will study these philosophers, considering their present relevance, the better understanding you will build. And better you will able to frame your answers in a better way. So this is the way I am going to teach you, not only what all they said, but where you can see their present relevance. Do they hold any present relevance or not? Okay? I'll tell you something which will help you to take your decision, to decide. Probably it will help you to decide in a better way. As I said, what one common trait you can see among these leaders? Now I am asking something else. Listen carefully. What do you think is the most important trait a leader should have? What separates an average leader from a good leader?
So,
Rationality to subjective है. Your
Vish-
rationality can be different from mine rationality. What one thing? What one thing? What one trait we want a leader should have? Vision क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं होता. Very rightly you said, decisiveness. What one trait we want in a leader should have is decisiveness. You all are aspiring to become administrator, leader, and you can't decide. If you can't decide on your optional, how you will decide the destiny of millions in future? वहां बाढ़ आ गई, आप डिसीजन ही नहीं ले पा रहे हैं. वहां लोग आपके पास आए हैं, सर प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, आप सर पे आ रहे, मेरे को खुद बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स है, मैं क्या करूं, मैं डिसाइड ही नहीं कर पा रहा. So that is why we want a leader to be decisive, and the process journey starts from here, not from Mussoorie. What one thing is missing among the Indians, especially among the males, they're not decisive, because for a longer period of time, their clothes are being decided by mother, their profession are decided by father, and their life partner decided by both. A leader needs to be decisive. ठीक है ना, विजन, करिश्मा, रैशनैलिटी सब सब्जेक्टिव है, but a leader needs to be decisive. Now, something called in corporates, if anyone coming from the corporate world might be aware of this, a small 2-day program being conducted by many corporate companies, that is art of taking good decisions. You all are deciding to go for UPSC. Are you sure you are taking a good decision? Probably you will end up in jail after 7 years on the charges of corruption. Are you sure that you have taken a good decision? No one can decide, no one can say with this surety that what you are doing today is a good decision, because decisions can go hayward. Decisions are beyond your control. Environment is subjective. ठीक है ना, you cannot be sure of your decision that your decision will bring the requisite desired result. Modi took the decision of demonetization, but the outcome was not as desired. Modi took the decision of abrogation of 370. Outcome is yet to come. So good leaders are those. Putin decided to go for Ukraine war, turned hayward. Netanyahu decided to go for outright war in Gaza. It is about decision. It's not always about good decisions. So you have to stick to your decision. So once you have decided to go for PSIR, stick to it and try to turn it to a good one. Otherwise confused रहोगे कि आज sociology ले लेता, कल history पढ़ लेता, परसों PSIR पढ़ लेता. Every subject requires tremendous hard work. So whatever decision you take, if you have decided to go for UPSC, try not to think too much for plan B, at least for 3 years. Because if you're too concerned about your plan B, it means you're not very sure about your plan A. Think about qualifying UPSC. More you will think about plan B, you are reducing your probability to get selected. No one can tell with this surety that you will become an IAS. You yourself can't tell. Even if you have written mains, no topper can tell to anyone that this time I'm going to get this rank. Even the last rank, no one can tell this. No one can claim this, because this is a competition. So in your preparation, I'm telling you by my experience, you have to try to increase possibility and probability. So try to remain away from negativity. Try not to be with those kind of people who will push you back. Okay. And try not to go for too much into deliberations, because that increases negativity. Once decided, stick to it. Bring as much rationality as you want to. Try to bring all the variables into the picture before you decide something. But once decided, stick to it. If you go for shopping and after seeing all the possible choices, you have decided to buy something, do not go back to exchange it or change it. The moment someone says you come back after spending hours in shopping, ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, आपका first reaction क्या होता है? Change करके लाते हैं. तो 3 घंटे क्या कर रहे थे? ठीक है? तो from now onward, what I'm telling you is acquire this trait if you do not have. That is the trait of being decisive. ठीक है? Drive करते हो? Anyone of you drive 4-wheeler? And on a highway, I'm sure you would have come across toll plaza. You decide to take 1 queue and then dissonance, यार इसमें लग जाता, बाकी तेज चल रही हैं, जहां खड़े हो गए ठीक है. आपने डिसीजन कैसे लिया था? सारे वेरिएबल्स चेक किए थे, ये सबसे छोटी है, बट आगे वाली स्टिक कर गई, आपके हाथ में था वो नहीं. वो पर्सन लू चला गया, आपके हाथ में था, आपको सपना आने वाला था, जो पर्सन है वो लू जाने वाला है नहीं, बिकॉज एनवायरमेंट इज बियॉन्ड योर कंट्रोल. ठीक है ना? सो व्हेन वी क्रिटिसाइज Nehru, when we criticize Indira Gandhi, when we criticize Rajiv Gandhi for so many of their decisions, all these things are very important for you. We'll criticize their decisions, not intentions. Will not criticize intention of Nehru of taking issue of Kashmir to UN. समझे? Will not criticize Indira Gandhi for Shimla agreement and giving POK back. Because those decisions were taken considering the variables which were available at that time. Okay. So we do not criticize leaders for their intentions. We believe all were nationalists who wanted to protect the integrity and sovereignty of the country. So try to be decisive, be as rational as you want to, but once decided, try not to deliberate too much onto that and do not flip-flop. It will not take you anywhere. Any other question? Done with online students. If you have any further query, you can ping me on my number. I hope you have my number, or you can take whenever you want to from the academy. They will give you my number and you can ping me for any doubt. And any doubt, offline students, you have? No? If so, if you will decide, if more you want to discuss, more you want to deliberate, any other doubt if you'll have in your mind, which right now probably you do not want to ask, you can reach me on my number. And your first class will start from 24th of June, and that too from 1 to 3. Your concerns should not be content. Your concerns should not be how much time. By and large, it will be around 160 lectures. Myself, I have to finish that. Your concern should not be about that whether we'll be able to write or not. Your concern for the time being is that whether I'm able to understand things properly, and the time which I'm expecting, that whether I'm able to give this much of time to the preparation or not. These should be your concern, and rest all concerns will be mine. Okay. Online student, any question? Okay, then see you. Bye. Take care. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ji, be decisive.
Thank you, sir.
Whatever optional you choose. Best of luck to all of you. Do well in your life, in your preparation.
From 24th. So the classes for online student will also begin from 24th.